Hello and welcome to Blame It on the Draw. Today I'm going to be giving you a deck profile of Odd Eyes, pure Odd Eyes. I'm not going to be using the Mythical Beast engine. I'm going to be giving you another engine in there. So if you want to substitute it with anything else, here we go. So first things up for the deck, we're going to be talking about the Odd Eyes monsters. We're going to have one Odd Eyes Lancer, one Odd Eyes Dissolver, Performer Pal, Odd Eyes Dissolver. 3 Odd Eyes Archpendulum Dragon, of course a staple. Then you have 2 Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon, this is the best beater. And you have Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, your second staple. And you have Odd Eyes Persona Dragon, which is going to be the great in negation, and Odd Eyes Mirage Dragon. So I'm gonna explain these one by one. Odd Eyes Mirage Dragon, basically what it does is as once per turn you're gonna, like, if a card you have, even the monster, this is the monster effect. If he's gonna, a monster you control is gonna be destroyed by battle, you can activate this effect by not making it destroy that moment. So basically you have to attack twice to destroy it. And the Pendulum's effect is crappy, but Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon here, when he's on the Pendulum scale, you can special summon him to put another face-up Pendulum monster to your Pendulum zone if one of your Pendulum monsters was targeted that turn. And also you can special summon him and negate any effect, quick effect. You can negate any effect of a monster that's special summoned from the extra deck. So he's a really good negation. And you have Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, the Pendulum effect that he can get destroyed and search for any Odd Eyes, smaller Odd Eyes than him, back directly to your from your deck to your hand. Plus, when he's in the field, when you destroy a monster by battle, you do double damage. So that's also pretty good. You have Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon. When he's in the pendulum scale, his effect says that you can add 1200 attack to one of your monsters that's attacking. You can choose which one is attacking or being attacked. Plus, when he's in the monster zone, depending on how many Odd Eyes Pendulum monsters you have in your Pendulum zones, you gain 1200 attack for each. So let's just combine them. For example, you have that one with him, plus him again in the Pendulum zones and another. You're doing right there and around 12, some 2400 attack, some 5900 attack with just that, and plus 1200 you can make all the way up there. Archpendulum Dragon's effect of one of your Odd Eyes when it's destroyed by a card effect or anything, it's just destroyed. You can activate its effect to special summon one Odd Eyes monster from your to your field from your deck or graveyard, and from there on you can just combo off anything you have to do from there. That can be activated by your opponent's turn as well. It's a trigger effect, so that's pretty cool. And Performer Pal, Odd Eyes Dissolver effect you can activate, and basically, for example, Odd Eyes Archpendulum Dragon special summons him, and then, my bad for misgendering, and then you activate his effect to fusion summon directly from your Pendulum zone as well, so you can fusion summon from there as well, and you can fusion summon one Odd Eyes fusion monster with him and another one. And you have Odd Eyes Lancer. Odd Eyes Lancer, what it does, he's a 3000 beater, and whenever you're going to be destroyed by any of your Odd Eyes cards will be destroyed, you can activate this effect to destroy just one card in substitution of that whole destruction. So basically he just dissolves everything that's in the destruction port. And usually what I do is destroy one of my Pendulum and activate Archpendulum Dragon's effect. So for example here, let's just say someone activates something like Dark Hole, they activate the effect, I activate his effect, destroy this one, then Archpendulum Dragon's effect activates, and then Lancer Dragons will basically special summon. And from there on, you can continue on the combo plays to your Odd Eyes monsters. That is it for the Odd Eyes monsters. Now we're going to be moving on for the Chronograph engine. My bad, the Darkworm engine. I'm sorry, I got that one wrong. The Darkworm engine is 3 Supreme King Dragon Darkworm, 2 Supreme King Gate 0, 3 Chronographs, and 1 Cyanco Magician, and 1 Time Star Magician. Time Star Magician is nothing, he's just an additive that you use for Chronograph Sorcerer's effect. And you can activate Sorcerer's effect to destroy himself, to special summon Time Gazer Magician directly from your deck to your field, and you can use him to link summon something like Heavy Metal Foes, Electromite, and that's about it. So he's just basically completely useless. It's just for using it just for Chronograph. And then of course Chronograph, you can activate this effect that when a monster is destroyed, or any card you have is destroyed, you can special summon and then special summon another monster to your field from your hand. And when he's in the Pendulum, of course, in the scale, you can destroy him and special summon a Time Gazer Magician. So that's pretty much it for the combos. The rest of the effects are just fusion summoning, something like Supreme King Zark, but you're not going to be doing that in this deck. Of course, you don't have Zark, so that's about it. You're just going to be using it to summon this Time Gazer Magician. That's about it. Next up, we have Cyanco Magician. Cyanco Magician's effect that you can target one of your XYZ's monsters and change its rank to like if it was stars. So when you're gonna do XYZ summon, you can change it to like if it was stars, and you can XYZ on top of that XYZ. Of course, this is actually pretty powerful, but you gotta make sure you make your plays correctly so you can get him right there in the right moment. I don't recommend you do this in first turn, but anyways. Next up, we have the Scream King Dragon Darkworm. Darkworm, when he's in the graveyard, he can special summon if you control no card monsters. Then you activate his effect. When he's special summon or normal summon, you can add one Supreme King Gate directly from your deck to your hand. Or when he's activated in the Pendulum Zone, you can activate one Supreme King Gate directly from your deck to one of your Pendulum Zones, and that's about it. You're just basically going to be thinning out your deck and getting more stuff so you can summon there to get for free Heavy Metal Foes Electromite. And then next up for the negations, this is pretty much a staple on most Pendulum decks. We have Mist Valley Apex Avian. Avian just activates the effect. You can bounce it back to your hand once per chain and negate an activation of an effect of a card, or an activation of an effect of a card, or a monster effect, or whatever. Next up for the spells, we have 3 Spiral Strike, Flame Strike, at least 3 Spiral Flame Strike. Wow, I said that incorrectly. 3 Duelist Alliance for your searching directly from your deck to your hand. And you have 3 Allure of Darkness, of course, Allure of Darkness giving you that plus. Sky Iris continuing on, giving you those plus. And 2 Pendulum Paradox. And yeah, so Pendulum Paradox, you can add 2 Pendulum monsters directly from your extra deck that have 2 different scales directly from your hand from your extra deck to your hand. So there's a really good +1 right there, and that's for free. Then you have Sky Iris, you can destroy 1 card. Of course, I recommend the ones in the Pendulum, even though you can destroy all cards. And then you can add 1 Odd Eyes monster directly from your deck to your hand. That could be any Odd Eyes monster. And you have 3 Allure of Darkness. Allure of Darkness, basically you could just draw 2, banish 1 dark monster, and if you didn't, all your hand is gone. And then you have Duelist Alliance, can only be activated when you have a Pendulum in your Pendulum Zone, and you activate its effect. And you can add 1 monster that says, or 1 card that says Pendulum in the text. So that's pretty good too. And you have, of course, 3 Spiral Strike, Flame Strike. If you control an Odd Eyes monster or a card, you can destroy 1 card on the field. And if not, you can actually add 1 Odd Eyes directly from your deck to your hand. And this is good for Searcher, plus it's not a once per turn, so you can continue on destroying more cards or adding more cards to your hand. Next up for the staples, we have 2 Terraformings and 1 Twin Twister. Terraformings, you can add 1 field spell card, of course, the Sky Iris. And you have Twin Twister, discard 1 card and destroy 2 spell and trap cards your opponent controls. So that's pretty much the staple right there, and that's about it. This is a really good butt saver when it comes to Twin Twister. Believe me, it saves you a lot of problems. And then for the extra deck, we're gonna go with the links. You have 1 Zephyr Mellotron, 1 Decode Talker, 1 Heavy Metal Foes Electromite. I wish it was at 2, but too bad. 1 Proxy Dragon, and 1 Underclock Taker. Underclock Taker effect, you can target 1 monster is pointing to, and that attack can be taken out by one of your opponent's attacks. So basically, if you have 1200, your opponent loses 1200 to whatever you target, and then you can use it to OTK to continue on your plays like that. Proxy Dragon, whenever a card is going to be destroyed, you can destroy 1 card that is pointing to. For example, someone does a Raigeki, you can destroy another card that is pointing to instead, and that's really good when it comes to Odd Eyes. Heavy Metal Foes Electromite, you can activate its effect to destroy 1 Pendulum monster. When he's summoned, you can add 1 Pendulum monster directly from your deck to your extra deck on top of it. Plus, you can destroy one of your Pendulum cards, which is recommended, and you can draw 1 card. Plus, you can activate its effect to add 1 from your extra deck and special summon if it was a Chronograph. So it's a really good combo player. And you have Decode Talker. Basically, if your opponent targets any of your cards, you can tribute 1 card that this card is pointing to and destroy it. Plus, it gains 500 attack for each card it's pointing to. This is a really good staple. It's just basically you're using for the zones, and that's about it most of the times. And of course, Zephyr Mellotron. Zephyr Mellotron, what it does is that it can target 2 monsters. One is pointing to the special summon from the extra deck, and another one your opponent has special summon from the extra deck. You can banish them both and then special summon later on in the end phase. But basically, you're using it for the monster zones, and that's about it. And now next up, we're going for the XYZs, and we're going to be starting off first with the XYZs. Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon, 1 Odd Eyes, Odd Eye Fury, I don't remember the name of that card, Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, 2 of them, and 1 Naruto the Mortal Warrior. Of course, Naruto the Mortal Warrior is discard 1 card, detach 1 material, my bad, and you can negate 1 spell and trap card your opponent activates. Then you have Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon. What it does, you can detach 1 material, negate 1 attack, and then you can special summon the 1 you can detach if it was an Odd Eyes monster, or any Odd Eyes from your graveyard to your field, and if it was sent to the graveyard by any card effect, and he was XYZ summoned, you can special summon 1 Odd Eyes card, which is a fusion or XYZ or synchro directly to your field. And then you have, of course, Odd Eyes, I forgot the name of this, I think it's Rampage, Odd Eyes Rampage Dragon, something like that. Basically what it does is destroy as many cards as possible if it has an XYZ material attached to it. This is why you need the Cyankle Magician. And this one as well with Cyankle Magician activates effect that basically destroys all monsters with 7 7 stars or less, they all get destroyed, and basically they're all beaters for attacking. So this is really good for board wiping both of them, especially when it comes to Rebellion. Rebellion, believe me, there's a lot of cards you can destroy with that one. Plus the Odd Eyes Rampage can destroy without targeting, so you can destroy as many as possible. And then next up we have for the fusions. First things first is we're going to be using 1 Rune Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Unfortunately, it's not an Odd Eyes, but it has a pretty good effect. And 2 Odd Eyes Vortex Dragons. Odd Eyes Pendulum Rune Eyes Pendulum Dragon. What it does is when you fusion summon using a fusion one that is a spellcaster, you can attack up to 3 times. Believe me, because you're going to be using Odd Eyes Performer Pal Odd Eyes Dissolver to activate its effect, so you can just attack 3 times with him. He's a really good beater. And Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, when he's special summoned, you can bounce 1 card directly from your opponent's side monster directly to his hand. Plus, when he's activated his effect, you can send 1 face-up Pendulum monster directly from your extra deck to your deck, and you can negate the activation of a spell, or trap card, or monster effect. The synchro here is you have Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon. What he does, it activates effect when he special summon. You can special summon 1 monster that's in your pendulum zone to where it is, and then you can activate its effect basically in the battle phase. Your opponent can activate spell or trap cards until the end of the battle phase. So that's pretty good, and it's really good for continuing on your plays with something like Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon. But all these Odd Eyes monsters, for example, Vortex, you have an advantage. For example, Vortex will be destroyed in your opponent's turn. You can activate the effect of Pendulum Dragon to special summon Vortex once more from the graveyard, and activate a Vortex effect because it will special summon directly from the field to the hand. And you continue on the combos like that. So I hope you liked it, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that like button, make that like button your bitch. And if you really like this video, don't forget to let me know in the comment section below what other videos you want to see. And if you want to see an even purer version of Odd Eyes, or a certain version of Odd Eyes, let me know. And that's about it. See you guys. Peace out.
Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out.